We've all been told coffee is dangerous, that it contains harmful compounds, that roasting creates toxins, and many people over 60 make a critical mistake, not because they ignore the science, but because they misunderstand how their body handles coffee now. But here's what's rarely explained. Your body at 60 or processes coffee very differently than it did at 30. Not because coffee became more dangerous, because your metabolism changed. Have you noticed that your morning coffee affects you differently now than it used to? Let me tell you about Margaret. She's a 68-year-old retired teacher from Arizona who loved her morning coffee ritual for 40 years. 2 cups a day, no issues. Then around age 62, she started reading online articles. Coffee contains carcinogens. Roasting creates deadly compounds. You're poisoning yourself daily. Margaret cut her coffee completely, but the anxiety stayed because nobody explained why those compounds exist, how much is actually present, and most importantly, what the research shows about coffee's total effect on the body. Here's what changes after 60 that makes this conversation different. Your liver processes compounds more slowly. What your body cleared in 4 hours at age 30 now takes 6 to 8 hours. Your cellular repair mechanisms slow down. This means the balance between harmful and protective compounds in any food matters more. Your kidney function becomes less efficient over time. This affects how your body handles all substances, including both toxins and antioxidants. This is why understanding the complete picture matters more at 60 than it did at 30. Let me walk you through the 3 compounds that cause the most worry and show you what the science actually says. Before we start, remember this. The goal isn't to scare you, it's to help you understand what's actually in your coffee, so you can make decisions based on facts, not fear. Compound number 1, acrylamide. This forms when carbohydrates are heated above 248 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll find it in French fries, toast, breakfast cereals, crackers, and yes, coffee. Here's what matters for your health. Coffee represents less than 10% of total acrylamide intake in the average American diet. French fries, potato chips, toast, and baked goods account for over 90%. According to FDA assessments and large international studies, typical consumption levels in the U.S. are well below amounts associated with health concerns. Here's the interesting part about coffee specifically. Lighter roasts contain more acrylamide than dark roasts. The compound forms early in roasting, then breaks down with continued heat. But lighter roasts also contain more antioxidants and more anti-inflammatory compounds. What this means for you. If you drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee daily, the coffee itself isn't your main concern. Reducing French fries, potato chips, and heavily toasted breads will have a much bigger impact on your total acrylamide exposure. Think of it this way. It's about your overall diet, not one single food. Compound number 2, furan. This creates that toasted, nutty aroma in freshly brewed coffee. It's one of the compounds that gives coffee its distinctive smell. But here's the simple truth about furan. It's volatile, meaning it evaporates into the air quickly. The solution takes 2 minutes. Just wait a couple of minutes after brewing before you drink. The furan naturally dissipates. Instant coffee and canned coffee have even less because the furan evaporated during processing. What this means for you. If this concerns you, the fix is remarkably simple. Let your coffee cool slightly. That's it. This is simple. You don't need anything expensive. You don't need to change brands. Just a brief pause. Compound number 3, mycotoxins, that's mycotoxins. Mold toxins. This is where internet anxiety runs highest. Moldy coffee, toxins, liver damage. Let me clear this up with facts. Three levels of protection exist for commercial coffee in the United States. First, the FDA and USDA monitor imported coffee beans. Contaminated shipments are rejected at the port before entering commerce. Second, random market surveillance. State and federal authorities test products already on store shelves. Third, roasting destroys 90 to 99% of any mycotoxins that somehow got through the first two screenings. According to USDA testing programs, commercially available coffee from reputable brands consistently tests within safe limits. Here's what you actually need to know. Commercial coffee from established brands is safe. The regulatory system works. The real risk isn't store-bought coffee. It's home equipment. If you use a drip coffee maker, French press, or espresso machine at home, mold can grow in the water reservoir and filter basket if not cleaned regularly. What this means for you: clean your home coffee equipment once a week with hot water and white vinegar. That simple habit protects you far more than worrying about commercial coffee. Let me pause here and remind you of something important. These three compounds exist, yes, but they're only part of the story. Coffee also contains hundreds of protective compounds, and when scientists look at the complete effect of drinking coffee, not just isolated chemicals, the picture looks very different. A comprehensive 2016 analysis reviewed over 2,000 research papers on coffee and health outcomes. Not 20 papers, not 200 papers, over 2,000 studies. The findings showed coffee consumption was associated with lower occurrence of breast cancer, liver cancer, colon cancer, endometrial cancer, prostate cancer, skin cancer, oral cancer, esophageal cancer. These associations were strongest at 3 to 4 cups per day. This pattern held across different populations, regardless of age, smoking status, body weight, or pre-existing health conditions. 3 conditions showed mixed or inconclusive results: bladder, lung, and pancreatic health. Not increased risk, just evidence that wasn't consistent enough to draw clear conclusions. What about people already diagnosed? 2 observational studies looked at people who had already received diagnoses: colon cancer patients. Those who consumed 4 cups daily after diagnosis tended to have better outcomes compared to those who avoided coffee entirely. Breast cancer patients. Similar patterns were observed. Those who continued drinking coffee were associated with improved overall outcomes. I'm not saying coffee treats illness. I'm saying the evidence clearly shows coffee consumption is not associated with increased harm, even in these populations. The World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies coffee in Group 3, not classifiable as carcinogenic to humans. That classification came after reviewing all available evidence worldwide. Light roast or dark roast? This question comes up often, so let me address it directly. Light roast contains more acrylamide, more antioxidants, and more anti-inflammatory compounds. Dark roast contains less acrylamide, but fewer protective compounds. There's no official medical recommendation because both are considered safe. But based on the balance of evidence, here's my personal take. Light to medium roast seems like the better choice. You get more protective compounds, and the acrylamide level, while higher than dark roast, is still well within ranges that haven't been associated with health concerns in population studies. The more important strategy, if you drink coffee daily, focus on reducing other sources of acrylamide in your diet, particularly fried foods, potato chips, and heavily toasted breads. That's where most Americans' exposure comes from anyway. Let me bring this back to Margaret. After we reviewed the research together, She made simple decisions. She went back to her 2 cups of morning coffee, light roast. She started waiting a couple of minutes before her first sip. She cleaned her coffee maker weekly, but most importantly, she stopped being afraid. Here's what you need to remember. Number 1. Coffee is officially classified as not carcinogenic by international health authorities. This came after reviewing thousands of studies worldwide. Number 2. The compounds that cause worry exist in small amounts and are balanced by hundreds of protective compounds. Your body at 60 processes everything more carefully, and coffee's overall association with health is protective, not harmful. Number 3. Research consistently shows 3 to 4 cups daily is associated with health benefits, not because more is always better, but because that's the range where studies show the strongest positive associations. This is not about fear. It's about understanding your body and making informed choices. 3-day challenge starting tonight. Try this simple experiment. Choose one action, option 1. If you've been avoiding coffee due to health concerns, have 1 cup tomorrow morning, light or medium roast. Wait 2 minutes before drinking. Option 2. If you already drink coffee, replace 1 serving of French fries or toasted bread this week with a vegetable side or fresh fruit. Then notice how you feel, not with anxiety, but with curiosity. Comment below with 1 or 2. Number 1, if you're trying coffee again. Number 2, if you're adjusting other foods. This information is for educational purposes only and does not replace medical advice from your doctor. If you have specific health conditions, particularly liver or kidney concerns, please consult your physician about appropriate coffee consumption. Individual tolerance varies, especially with certain medications. This is not about fear. It's about understanding your body. And after 60, we deserve clarity, not anxiety. So tomorrow morning, when you hold that warm cup, let go of the guilt. Just enjoy your ritual. You've earned that peace.